Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to the training vlog. So essentially this video is going to be backlogged. This is the first ever video that I'm recording for this channel. And probably you've seen the one that I posted initially, my very first like proper video, right? Which is probably going to be my yearly progress. But this one I'm recording it way before that video comes out, so yeah, it's probably the quality of this one isn't going to be on the same level, but it's okay, you know. You'll get to see the progression, just like the progression with my climbing, right? Am I right? So yeah, so with this one, let's take a look at my session, which I actually had after like a break of 4 days. I think I decided to deload for 4 days because I was trying to climb a project that I had on the kilter board. It didn't work out the way that I anticipated, and yeah, I decided to leave kilter board for now and just focus on climbing at my like main gym where I go to, and also do some moonboarding. So yeah, this is the first clip, the first video. I'm just doing some warm-up climbs. So the Y tag is V1 to V2, so in font that would be like 5A to 5C, something like that. So just in this session, I was actually, especially during the warm-ups, I was thinking a lot about let me figure out the player. I was thinking a lot about making sure that whenever I catch the hold, I'm really close to the wall. So before, of course, I would be thinking about staying close to the wall and like putting my hips close to the wall. But in this particular session, I realized I was actually watching a lot of footage of Will Bosey climbing on the board, and that video with Magnus Midbow and Adamandra climbing in Sheffield in the schoolroom. And I noticed how close to the wall, that like they say really close to the wall at the moment of catching the hold, which seems like maybe it's an obvious thing to you guys, but to me it was somewhat of a revelation that focusing on staying close to the wall while you're like moving the feet and just hanging on two hands is important, but it can be less important rather than staying really close to the wall when you're actually catching the hold at the moment of catching the hold. That's what I realized, because of course you get the best angle possible, you get the best friction on the hold possible. So that's what I was thinking about. But yeah, during the warm-up I didn't feel flowy at all. I was like pretty hesitant, and I think I know the reason. I might notice the reason later, or I mean I can tell you right now. It's the shoes. Whenever you can't climb something, whenever you're not flowy, it's always the shoes, guys. Blame the shoes. So let's take a look at the next clip. Okay, here we go. So here's another V2, I guess. Yeah, and look at the left foot right now. That's such I don't know, it's more than a rookie mistake. I really don't know why that happened, but yeah, I'm still at this level where during warm-ups I can experience things like that. You can see I'm like trying to get ready and really focus on pulling my whole arm back, like starting from my scaps, especially focusing on the scaps and pulling them back. But yeah, my foot just picks. It just picks like that. Yeah, quite a lot of bent arms right there. And right there you can notice that I'm actually kind of hanging on my hands for a little while, for like a split second, and switching feet. Here the switching feet was all right, but right here you can notice that I kind of jumped and was hanging from my hands for a second, which is not a good technique. You really got to try to keep your weight on the feet when you're switching feet. Right there, even you take a look at, I'm going like that, being disappointed in myself. Yeah, so here really also like trying to emphasize staying close to the wall when I'm catching the hold. Yep, so this is me again, climbing the, well, me again, wow. During the same climb here, I think I just decided to do it once again because I was super disappointed in how I did it. Here, I think I managed to weigh my foot a little better. Well, I think I'm going to change the video player for the next video. I don't like this thingy. Yeah, like trying to stay close. Did I skip it? Oh, I just skipped these two holds. Yeah. Yeah, nothing special. Just the warm-ups, just a lot of mistakes. So another V3. Yellow holds. Kind of a pretty cool heel hook on the left. I am really pretty bad at heel hooks at this point because I just somehow haven't been using them that often. Whenever there's an option, I think I just go for a lower foot option instead and just reach. And like, for me, definitely staying extended is easier than being really bunched up and doing heel hooks, but I gotta work on it. So once again, repeating the same climb, just going with a little more confidence because I know the beta. Feeling, you can still notice that with my feet, I'm having issues trusting my feet. Just as if there's a little too much weight on my hands for this grade of climbing. And yeah, I definitely felt like I wasn't really trusting my feet, especially on the bigger footholds where there's like, they might be kind of round-ish and the shoe is supposed to bend around them. These newer drones were not really doing that for me, so I didn't feel much confidence from them. So here we go with the first V4. Gray holds, really like these ones. They're pretty flat. I'm going to actually, hold on, let me show them to you. There we go. So these are the holds that I'm climbing. As you can notice, they're like super comfy. At the same time, they're not jugs in a sense that they're like pockets, you know, like that where you can really wrap your hand around them. They're a little more flat, which I think is kind of nice. Reflects, I assume, a really easy climbing outdoors. So once again, my climb on them. Here we go. Boom. Here again, just thinking about the same thing, trying to stay close to the wall whenever I catch the hold. And just reaching for it. No need for high feet, just reach. You can see I could reach the top from there. But again, I decided to do something else, like figure out a different way because didn't want to break the beta too much. There we go. Right next V4 that I'm doing is this green one on almost like a vertical wall. It's maybe 5-7 degrees overhanging, so the holds are much poorer. And yeah, climbing on this kind of terrain is definitely my weakness. I feel much better climbing something that's really overhanging, ideally a roof. I just feel like I enjoy that the most, and because of it, I guess I excel at that the most. So Yeah, here you can notice I'm really struggling. Like I lost my foot there and I decided to just jump down instead of trying to fight, just because I felt terrible on like the way I was using my feet. It was just really disappointing. There's like a tiny little, I'm going to show the holes to you in a sec. There was a tiny little hole in there in the foot that I was trying to use right there. I really tried to like put the very tip of the shoe in there to reach the top hole better, but it just wasn't going in. So I tried to reach lower. As you can see, I put too much weight on my hands and arms, and because of it, my left foot just picks like that. Yeah. So same clip, I decided to just try that upper section once again. Unfortunately, you can't see the left foot hold that I'm using. I tried to like do a really the drop knee that goes far to the left right there. Yeah, and still feeling like I have so much weight on my hands and arms. Again, I could have fought through it, but didn't want to use my strength over the technique. So yeah, quick look at the holes that are on the problem. There we go. Trying to show you the size. They're pretty good, you know. For the most part, they're like 3 fingers. If this one is really awkward, I think you can put 2 fingers up there, and here's the pocket for the thumb. Also 3 fingers here. The top is an absolute jug, of course. It's a V4 after all. Yeah, here's the hole that I was trying to use as my foot option. Didn't work out. Tried to reach for this one, lost the foot. And here we go, guys. The change, the major change that's happening is me using Dragos, Scarpa Dragos this time. Lately, so I have like several shoes in rotation. Mad Rock drones, the recent model, then the very first model of drones that I've had for a long time, my very first rock climbing shoes, and Scarpa Dragos. And I just really, I'm really loving Dragos recently because they're softer. I feel like I can really trust my feet better, even though I'm still like tapping, as you can see. Managed to reach there, reaching for that hold, and here I wanted to use the high foot option, but I was like, no way I'm doing it. I'm just really bad at trusting little feet. Major weakness of mine. Even here you can see I'm just essentially hanging. I'm just hanging from the top jug. Like right there, my foot didn't do anything except push me off the wall a little bit. I even look again. I'm a little disappointed in myself. I'm like shaking my head. Look. Okay, so that was the climb. So at this point I was done with the warm-up on the wall, and I continued to doing some edge lifts. This is 30 kilos as far as I remember. Let me you'll see what it is in pounds on the screen. Here I'm going up to 35 kilos, and you can see I have to work for it. Like you can see a little bit of shake. It was not easy. And here's the final lift that I do. I kind of wanted to figure out my max, because I haven't ever actually tested my max on a 20 mil. There we go. And this is just 40 kilos, which is I think 88 pounds. Yeah, and this felt pretty limit for me. Definitely way over 90% of my strength, over 95, I'd say like 97 or something. Maybe I could have pushed a little more, like a kilo more, 2.5 pounds more. but this felt pretty limit for me. Look at my other hand, just going like that. Yeah, so we'll see the progression. Maybe you're coming back to this after watching the first video that I posted and go like, man, you were so weak back then, you could only lift 88 pounds on a 20 mil. Or maybe you're thinking, wow, you haven't really improved much. It's still the same. It's like 89 pounds nowadays. So yeah. So next clip, and this session was actually supposed to be a volume session. I wanted to do a lot of volume on like V4s, potentially some V5s, on just yeah, some gym boulders. Wasn't thinking about going on the Moonboard this time, but I haven't been to the gym for a pretty long time, and they set some really awesome boulders that I saw from some of my climbing buddies. They posted some videos of them climbing them, and I was like, I really want to try them out. And so this one is that I'm trying. This one is V8, so 7B, maybe 7B plus. I'm going to show you the holds in a second. So yeah, this session really didn't work out as I planned. It was not a volume session at all. Just getting a feel for the first two holds, the starting holds, trying to figure out. So I have to go left hand up to there. Trying the heel hook, and at first I'm like, what the hell? This really doesn't seem right. Am I really? Because the hold, I'm using like the fisheye thingy on my iPhone that I'm using to film. So it seems closer, as I'm looking at the video right now, it seems closer than it was in reality. I think it's always the case when you look at climbing videos like that. It seems pretty close. The hold seems pretty close on the video, and then you actually, like, if you're able to try that particular boulder, it ends up being super far. So I'm trying with the heel again, and actually trying to go for it. You can see there's, like, I still have quite a long way to go. Yeah, so my heel pops before I even touch the hold. So it means I'm not really committing that much, and I'm just like, I'm just thinking what I can do, because really at this point it doesn't seem like there's many other options. Let's see what I try to do. I think the same thing. I just try the move again. Oh, I tried to go like that, but the red volume is really in the way. So I can't even try the move properly like that, because I would hit my knee. It would just block my leg essentially, and my leg would block me from, you know, going upwards. So let me show you the holds that we're working with here. So this is the starting hold for the left hand. As you can see, it's kind of small. It's not very big. It's maybe, I've got big-ish hands, and it's like third of a pad, quarter pad, so about 10 mil, I'd say. 10 or maybe 9/8. The other hold is better. There's like a little edge in there, but again, it's not big. Maybe 12 mil. Yeah. There we go. That's what we're trying to do, but also it's a pinch, so feels better. And just for the reference, I climbed up a little bit, and the next holds, so this is the target hold that we're going for. It's you know, it's like a really comfy edge, maybe about 20 mil, and you can see it's in cut. So this one is super nice. The next one though is again about just like 10-ish, 12-ish mil. On the sides, you can see it's super thin. Same story going on there. Even smaller next intermediate hold, and then on like higher up on the volume, the holds feel better because you can pinch them like against the volume. So I just continue trying. Am I using a fisheye lens here? I don't think so. I just continue trying the heel beta. Oh, here I try to go with the toe. I'm like, no, it's not happening. It doesn't feel right. My flexibility is really bad when it comes to like staying square on, but close to the wall. So pushing my knees apart like that, it's really, really bad. So maybe that's part of the reason why I feel so uncomfortable in that position. So the heel definitely, it felt like it allowed me to stay closer to the wall, especially as I'm trying to catch the hold. Yeah, you can see not really happening. Also focusing on my right hand and arm, really trying to pull backwards instead of like pulling myself in and towards the wall, and in this case that would mean to the right, which would be like a more intuitive way, and the hold would feel better that way because I would be pulling exactly perpendicular to the edge of the hold. I'm trying to pull out as much as I can so I can kind of push myself to the left to get closer to the target hold. But still, let's see, a long way to the hold, not even touching the hold. Here, because it's just one move, I just rest for a tiny bit and try again right away, I think. Yeah. After two, maximum 3 attempts like this, I always rest for a proper like 3 minutes. Again, trying the left foot is just not working because of the volume. Just keep trying again because the climb seems really interesting. I got the beta from one of my climbing buddies, and the beta later seems even more difficult, just like ridiculously difficult. You have to have so much small edge power, which I don't, which I really, really don't. Like, I'm way more comfortable generating a lot of power on good-ish holds compared to like being delicate on smaller holds, even though it's a more vertical terrain in this part. I'm just really bad at that. So here, as you can see, there is quite a major difference. I like pause for half a second, maybe less, but there's still a little pause when I go there, and my fingers are over the bottom part of the hold, so I'm definitely closer this time. So because of it, because there's already this progression after just trying it for like 5 times, I definitely understand that I can do the move. I'm really focusing on pulling as much as I can with my left heel and like compressing between my legs like that, just clamping on the holds. So it allowed me to just pause for a little bit there. But I'm still thinking because it feels I think I realized that it kind of worked, but it feels like I'm using maximum effort on my left heel, left leg, and I'm still not touching the top part of the hold, just the bottom. You see, again, I'm pausing for a brief second. This time I wanted to see whether I can match on the right start hold like that, and I'm able to do it, but it just doesn't allow me to do anything really because I'm blocked by my left arm. Now as I'm looking at it, maybe there is some potential in going like that because it allows me to stay higher, like extend my legs a little bit, I can still bring my hips closer to the wall. But you see, I just extend a little more, it feels like. Because if I'm keeping my left hand on the left start hold, there's only so high that I can go without letting go of the left hand earlier that I need to. So I still need to like push with my left hand as I'm going for the hold. So maybe I'm going to mess around with this beta some more during the next session. We'll see. But in the moment, it definitely didn't feel promising at all. Like the first beta that I was using seemed much better. Like, once again, I can pause in this position, yeah, but there's not even a hint of me going towards the next hold, so I kind of abandoned that idea for that session at least. So this is the final attempt on this particular move. Let's see how it's going to go. I don't quite remember myself. Yeah, I think I focus on really pulling like out with my right hand. Again, just like I said, engaging the scapula and pulling out and like almost pushing myself to the left so I can reach the left hold. And keeping my hips close to the wall. But you can see this is like the lack of my flexibility. If I was more flexible, I think I could have stayed even closer to the wall. Yeah, but at least I'm happy that I was able to engage the heel hook quite well here. It's a very small hold for the heel, but I was able to trust it, which I, again, just like you saw earlier, I struggled with that. So let me see. I think I paused at the target hold for a little longer again. Yeah, I paused there. The fingers are over the hold, but not quite at the place where I would be able to catch it even in. There we go. 3-finger drag. And I think I'll give it one more go. Just one more go. It's always one more go. And yeah, nah. Tired. And here we go, starting with the overview of the holds on the next thing that I'm trying. Again, it's a V8. A really juggy start holds, like super nice. Kind of a slopey pinch, but deep. About 10 mil here, but a nice pinch, so works all right. And these just absolutely painful, my nemesis type of holds, about, again, 10 mil. They're kind of a slightly, just super slightly in cut. And another one, biggish hold. That's supposed to be a heel, guys, by the way. That's going to be a heel, big top hold, and yeah, there's the foot there at the end. So here I decided to go straight to like trying the move to the two bad edges from the pinch, because I was pretty confident in the beginning of this boulder that I could do it, because again, all the holds seem pretty decent. I managed to do this move pretty comfortably, like as long as I'm really engaging my right foot and really like doing a side plank essentially. I'm really staying tense here, maintaining the tension. I can grab the hold easily, but then, so again, I saw my climbing buddy do this boulder, and from this position you're supposed to like swing your legs over and put your right heel over here, and then cross with your left hand over there to that tiny edge. So I tried to swing, didn't put the heel, but like even that was enough for me to realize that I think the crux of this boulder is not happening anytime soon. I was just having so much trouble hanging on that right hand, and it's really like, because it's so overhanging and there's no other foot options, it's incredibly just there's no other way. You're going to load your fingers, and if you don't have enough strength, which as we found out I don't have a lot of, it's just 88 pounds on the 20 mil. Yeah, I don't think that this one is going to go anytime soon. I'm still going to continue trying it probably during the future sessions, but yeah, I have pretty little hopes of doing it. So here I try to reach for the next one, because later I had an idea of like doing an insane drop knee between this hold and this volume, and essentially clamping myself like that with my feet, you know, pushing apart, and bringing my left hand over to this edge, which we'll see later will not work. So I think, yeah, this is my attempt at trying to figure out the drop knee if it's possible at all. So I'm using a better holder to start, then going to the edge, and here's the drop knee attempt. And it's just, because of the angle, it's ridiculously difficult on your core, on the legs, and I just, even if I exert more force than now, even if I try even harder with my feet, pushing them apart like that, I still don't think it's feasible to, because the volume is not really facing the right direction. It's not like perpendicular to the direction that I'm pushing in. It's at an angle, so there is a very good chance that I'm going to slide. And if I slide and then shock load my fingers on such a small edge, that's just a recipe for disaster. Even there, it's slid. Of course, that's a technical mistake. If I kept pushing on my foot, it wouldn't have slipped. But yeah, just didn't feel feasible. So that was the first attempt. Then later, I just try and see. You see, with a much better hold, with like a jug, I try to see if overall that position is possible, if it's possible to really hold myself in that position. And I'm really trying my best, but maybe my legs and feet are also weak and someone else would be able to do it. But also, if we think about it, even if I bring my right hand over there and left hand over here, then as soon as I let go of the tension with my legs and the feet and they cut, it's going to be a super huge swing out, because here on the video you can't really see it that well, but here the overhang is maybe about 55 degrees at least. So yeah, I will not be able to hold the swing on these two tiny edges. So it's just, yeah, kind of, there's no point. You see, I'm really trying here. I tried to see if I can do the drop knee first, establish the drop knee, and then just put my hands on the tiny edges, right, and then left. I wanted to put left on, but yeah, I just felt like it's not happening. And here, an attempt at feeling how the heel hook feels, which, in combination, of course, with the hand on the tiny edge, felt terrible. So, and at this point, I was pretty tired, so I decided to just let it go and maybe come back to it the other time. Just like I said in the beginning, this was supposed to be a volume session. Ended up being just trying out some potentially max boulders, but didn't make much progress on them. A big surprise at the end of the session, when I went to do some strength training later, I found out that for the first time ever, I was able to do a one-arm pull-up. There's a little kip in the beginning, just slightly. I couldn't do it all like super statically, but I think this is pretty solid. Once again, before this, I was just doing one arms with a rubber band, and I felt like I was really quite a long way away, using like 25 pounds rubber bands, and yeah, doing maybe like 3, 4 at max one arms, and I felt like there was no way I was going to do a one arm pull up. But this was, yeah, a nice little surprise at the end of not quite productive session. This is my next session, which was 2 days after. So 1 day break, next day, after the break, and here's my really miserable attempt at filming my warm-up. I promise I'm going to get better at positioning my phone on a tripod. But yeah, essentially I'm showing that I'm doing some light, super light no hangs, and then it's just doing basic warm-ups. But this is kind of funny. Doing some warm-up climbs. This time I decided to go straight with Dragos because I felt like drones, the way they're built, how stiff they are, maybe they're not quite for me. I'm not the heaviest climber, so and of course it's a lack of technique, right, as always, but I felt really much more natural climbing in Dragos. Just felt good, you know, felt inspiring. I want to feel inspired when I climb. So yeah, they're soft. Yeah, it kind of hurts climbing on more vertical terrain. Yeah, they're kind of expensive, you know, they wear out quicker, but you know, I can't save every shoe that I use, so let's just go for it. So this one, I didn't quite figure out how to do this beginning move easier. It was quite physical, like a little pushing movement there. But, you know, maybe it's supposed to be that way. Yeah, just some light climbing. These threes. Didn't get much B-roll from the warm-up because there were really a lot of people that day in the gym. So here doing the warm-up on the Moonboard. So this session was supposed to be a volume session on the Moonboard. Here I'm trying to do the to jug or not to jug from my memory, but I forgot what the top hold is, so I missed it. I went for the black one, but it's actually the white one. So just trying to feel how I'm doing on the board. Here is, oh, I forgot the name of it, but it's like my standard warm-up problem that I do from memory. And notice the pinch. So I take the pinch here. Notice the left hand now. I catch it pretty quickly and kind of with very little confidence. There's a lot of momentum going on. I think it really shows my weakness on pinches. I was not really trusting my right hand on the pinch that it was going to hold me properly. So I also didn't position my center of mass correctly and more under the hold that I'm holding, not the hand that I'm moving. Yeah, not so the hand that's still holding on the wall, which is not moving, should have been more to the right. So yeah, the move with the left hand, you see, it was kind of unprecise, but overall felt pretty good on the warm-ups. So the first working problem that I decided to do, I'm just going through the benchmarks at this point, and right now for the volume I'm working on V4s. This is beta fish. So I tried, at first I read it as I should go to the pinch. Unfortunately, there's no lights, so I'm going to tell you, I've got this hold and And actually, I'm starting the problem in the wrong way. I forgot that I had this left starting hold as well. I was very sleep deprived on that day, unfortunately. Didn't get enough sleep. So, yeah, I guess that's why I forgot about the starting hold. But in any case, I'm going to fix the problem later. I went to the pinch, and obviously I need to put my feet up somewhere, and my first option was the starting hold, you know, the standard essentially starting hold on the Moonboard. And I felt like I just, again, was feeling really not confident on the pinch. I couldn't just hang on it. I was putting so much weight on it and exerting so much, using so much power. So I decided to let go and try to figure out a better way. Just finding a better position. I read the comments about this problem, and several people were saying different things, but all of them were going with the right hand to the pinch. And so I did this, right? I was like, okay, let's imagine that I go here, and let's imagine that I put my left foot, in this case, on the starting hold. And it just felt terrible. I felt like I was not going to hold on the right hand, because the next move goes to, I think, here, to this white, really nice hold. Yeah, so finally I remembered that I've got the left start hold. Am I gonna try to do... Oh, yeah. So because I have this one, I was wondering whether I can reach it, because it's on row 11, and I can reach a row 11 statically from the kickboard, given the hold is really in the vertical. So I'm like staying right underneath the hold. Let's say I'm going from this one, and I can reach this one in theory. If it's to the side, if I'm going like from this one to here, of course, there's no way. There's no way. Or, sorry, if my body is like in a diagonal, and here it definitely was. Here it definitely was. You see, I'm like a long way from it, and I'm already pretty extended. So I was like, nope, this is not going to work. Here I thought about using the left start hold as my foot. Or did I? Next clip. Here I go. This is the actual potential send go. I'm trying to kind of rock over on the foot like that, and it slips because the left start hold, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's pretty angular, and the way I was putting my foot on it, I was putting the shoe right on the edge, like on the ridge of the hold, and it was sliding. So I had the span to reach it, but the foot was just sliding. I was like, okay, it works, you know, in theory. If my foot stays on, it should work. So gotta do it again, just gotta pay more attention to my foot. So trying the same move once again, exactly the same way. Boom, reaching, and my foot picks instantly. Then I'm like, all right, so I can't hang on the right hand and put my feet on the right start hold, right? Because that puts way too much, it exhausts my right hand way too much. So I'm trying a different option. What about if I go right hand the same way and left foot from here, and I reach it easily. There we go. I'm like, this is it. This is the way. This is the way. So here is my send attempt, and once again, as you're noticing, I'm not starting the problem correctly. I'm not using the left start hold. So like, okay, I'm going to, by the way, sorry for the framing. Couldn't see the left hand. And the beta for this next part, I was not really sure about it completely. I had one idea. I thought that I was going to undercling the pinch and go left hand to the black pinch jug, which in the moment I tried it and I was like, no way, absolutely no way. So I decided to, I had another option of matching on this one, which kind of worked out. Yeah, it felt all right. Moving my feet, going to a really nice hold here. And boom, I don't reach the top. I don't reach the top from that low foot. This is what I like to do pretty often, using low feet and staying extended. But in this case, there was... yeah, I think this is as extended as I can. If I engage my right hand a little more, I think I could have reached it from this position. But you see, only the tips of my fingers reach the jug. So if I catch the jug, then my left foot is definitely going to come off, because I'll just pull down at that point, essentially, when I catch it. And there's a great video by Boss Climbs. He talks about how to keep your feet on the wall on the moonboard, especially. Super great video. And so whenever I'm trying to keep my feet on, I'm thinking about catching the hold and instantly pulling out from the wall, not down, because that will unload your foot and it's definitely going to come off. So I'm catching and pulling away from the wall, or like pulling myself into the wall, so there's still enough weight on the foot. But in any case, so tried this lower foot option, didn't work. And this is actually the send go, and I'm showing it like that because this is the second send go. The first send go, I didn't start properly. Again, I started from this hold, only from this start hold. So I sent it and I was like, man, I forgot. I forgot about this one. So this is the second send in a row, and I took a look at Andy Liu's 84 video of this one, of this problem. And so I will end up using a different foot option from the very last move to the top. So here you can see I'm a little more flowy, a little more confident with the beta. Boom. And putting my left foot on the pinch. Nice. The first time I stuck the move, as soon as I caught the jug, my foot actually came off, because again, I pulled down on my left arm and it unloaded the left foot. This time I really tried hard to create opposition between, sorry, the video kind of lagged, opposition between my right hand and left foot. I was like actively pushing my hand away and my foot away from me. So pushing in all directions, creating opposition, and nice, the foot didn't pick, which I was happy about. two times in a row. Whenever it's possible, I try to not cut feet. I find it really trains your body tension nicely. So kind of proud of this one. And the pinch, you know, it's not really a good, this particular pinch, not the greatest foothold, just because there's nothing in cut. You can only smear on it essentially and like use the friction, and to have enough friction you need the opposition with your hand, with the right hand. But yeah, it worked. Was happy about it. Next problem is cool piece, and this was a flash. I was pretty happy to get it because this right hand seemed pretty small. It's like the second time that I'm using this hold on the board, and got it from the first try. is cool. Let's take a look at it again. So a couple of things here. So here, really happy to see how I could lock off on the left hand and just like really extend myself like that. But as you're noticing, my knee is in the way. I think I could have rocked over on it better. I could have maybe like changed my arm position slightly, but in any case, I could have put it in a much better position and closer to, you see how far away my hips are from the wall? I could have brought them much closer. So this is definitely a mistake. Getting the hold. Here I'm intentionally trying to put my center of mass closer to the right under the hand that I'm holding. So there's less swing when I catch this hold. So look, notice this position, and then I shift to the right. That was kind of, you know, pretty subtle, but just look at my hips, mainly at my hips. They're here, and then I'm like shifting them to the right there. That's the movement. Try to put my hips as close to this hand as I could, the plumb line of this hand. It was kind of harsh, but you know, it worked out. This foot option is really also pretty bad, so I intentionally try to stay away from the wall, actually, because if you kind of let yourself hang away from the wall and hang in a plumb line, then you can really push into the wall to use the foothold. You know, when it's super bad, I find that it definitely helps. If I try to like claw into it, it's just not going to work. There's nothing to claw into. And here, because the, you know, this handhold is a super jug, there's some bad technique in terms of bending my arms too much, but it didn't matter because again, the hold is really good. Yep, nice. And here is Comet. So there is a very big move at the very end to the top. And my elbow there wasn't too pleasant. And as always with big moves, I'm like, can I static them? That's my question always. So let's see my attempt at staticking for this move. Nope, not even close, not even close. There's really, I extended myself. I felt like I extended myself pretty well. I'm staying close to the wall. My leg is almost fully extended, but again, you see I'm really short to the hold, and if I catch it, if I actually get my fingers over the top, then my foot is definitely going to come off. So in this case, it's staticking is really not an option, and I kind of realized that. So I was like, okay, let's try to do the top move separately from these two, and let's do it as a jump. I very rarely jump on the Moonboard. Boom, and it worked much better than I anticipated. Again, from watching Will Posey, from watching Adam Ondra climbing on boards, I noticed how whenever they jump, so let's see. In this phase of the jump, the way they do it is first they really focus on bringing their body, again, probably to a lot of you guys watching it, especially to high-level climbers, it might be a very obvious thing to you, but I just realized it, I just learned about it, and it was like a pretty big revelation for me, and it feels like it really affected the way I actually did this jump. So they are really focusing on first bringing their body super close to the wall, so it's not about like really sinking down and then generating only upwards. They pull into the wall first, so they get the best position for actually pushing off of the foothold. So when they're close to the wall, only then they push. So it's like a two-stage movement. Into the wall, then push, then jump. I did exactly that. And it felt so smooth. I was really impressed with myself. And so here's the attempt with this beta. With the jump beta. From the bottom. This move somehow felt kind of tricky because the right hand there wasn't too good. So I was afraid I was going to just come off, kind of slip off. Overall, you know, the problem is not very difficult because the holds are pretty good. Most of them. And here I'm just short. Maybe I didn't push enough. Maybe I wasn't close to the wall enough. Oh no, actually I remember what happened. Just remember this position, okay? Remember how low I am. Just notice how low my head is, essentially at the white pinch level, right? I really sink down and then I focus on just pulling up. Instead of into the wall, I pull up, I sink down and pull up into the wall. Pull up towards the hold. Yeah. So it didn't feel right, just didn't feel right. And here we go, finally, the send go. Unfortunately, again, the framing, guys, the framing is pretty bad. But I promise I'll fix it. Let's see it all the way through and then we'll talk about the move. Boom. Yeah, I was happy about getting it. So let's see my head level, right? So I got here and I watched back the previous attempt and I was like, I'm way too low. I'm way too low when I'm generating here. And this time I decided to, here if you compare it, actually the head is, you could say that it's at the pinch level, but actually it's higher. So my whole body is higher and I intentionally try to generate into the wall and then up instead of going down and up. So the previous attempt, it was like a one-stage jump, right? Just down and up. This time it was a two-stage out into the wall and then jump. So I think it worked out well, and I really focused on pulling with my right foot all the way, like really long as I can, just until the very point when I push off of it. Boom, pow. So it felt very satisfying, gotta say, because these jumps are really new to me. Felt really good. Okay, so guys, this is going to be it for today's video. Yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one.